Don't worry, it may be a little awkward, but it's nothing too bad. So, when two countries get really mad at each other, and I mean really mad, they end up fighting. Sometimes these fights can be a good old slap and tickle. However, sometimes they can be a more dangerous type of conflict. As this happens, this leads to their whole squad being brought in, and when that happens, you already know it's all over. So, as this is happening, these squads feel the need to create these technological innovations in order to have an advantage in this type of fight. Don't worry, I know that was a lot of information at once, but once I show you some examples, you'll understand.
During World War II, the US and the Soviet Union were fighting to see who could create the first atomic bomb. In 1945, the US succeeded, but the Soviets later stole that information to create their own.
Haha, you guys! When the 7 Years' War started in 1756, British engineers invented the flintlock rifle as a way of more efficient warfare. In the early 1900s, the radio was invented as a means of communication in order to find out what was going on in the world during the World Wars.
Today is August 6, 1945, and President Harry Truman has just authorized the dropping of the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima in Japan. Stay tuned for further updates.
So while these countries are still really upset at each other, or even upset at themselves, their friends all the way back home are still able to create new technology just because they need it.
The sewing machine was invented in 1844 for men to join the war effort. They did it by making and sewing clothes for troops and for slaves.
The swivel chair was founded in 1776 during the American Revolution, so you could say the founding fathers were circling some new ideas.
Hey, did you know that the telephone was invented in 1876, right after the Civil War? And guess what it did? It helped people communicate better. Bye!
The floss was invented in 1815 at the end of the 1812 war. One could say they unstrung themselves out of a sticky situation.
So while these countries are still very angry at each other, some people who are not as nice decide to create new inventions that hurt rather than help.
The guillotine was invented in 1789 by a French citizen named Dr. Joseph Guillotine as a way of gentler execution. Now, this invention did more harm than good, as it killed 40,000 people, and included in these deaths were Louis XVI and Mary Antoinette.
When I lose my head, guillotine. Guillotine. Even when I lose my head.
It is very evident that technological innovations can stem from both countries being at war and using it as a means to create more efficient fighting and war tactics, yet also during times of social and political turmoil, creating things for themselves out of necessity. Throughout history, humans have continued to model these trends of attempting to win more wars and supplement for missing pieces of their society during change or during one of said wars. Humanity as a whole treats technology as something that is necessary for our growth as a species and as a civilization. And that mindset makes it very easy for historians or even WAP students to analyze the kinds of changes brought on by new technology. Technological innovations are going to continue to happen as long as humanity continues to create new things, and they have most definitely shaped humanity as a species.